Hey guys, what's up? It's Carmela Maniac. If you're new to my channel, sit down, chill, and hang out with me for a bit, because today I'm going to be reviewing and breaking down a song called Home, which is the latest single from BigXthaPlug featuring Shaboozey.
I've been lost on this highway trying to...
So this song starts right away with Shaboozey's part, and Shaboozey's part gives off a lot of new country / Americana vibes.
Last thing you'll see is smoke.
And hearing these country / Americana vibes, I was like, how in the world are they going to incorporate BigXthaPlug into this song if the song started out like that? And right after Shaboozey's verse and chorus, my question was answered. Literally, most of the instruments that were playing during Shaboozey's part cut out for Big X's verse. So I'm talking like the Johnny Cash gritty bass guitar, the kind of steel string guitar sliding sound, the banjo, and the cheesy kind of kick, boom, clap percussive elements. And all of that cuts out to be replaced by an 808, a snare, and a hi-hat, which are all very common parts in trap music or rap music. It's kind of a big switch up, and it only works because they keep the guitar melody that was playing in Shaboozey's part in BigXthaPlug's verse, and they keep that guitar melody as the main melodic component in Big X's beat.
It's lonely on this road. I've been lost on this highway trying to figure out life on this road.
Then to ease us back into that country / Americana feeling, they slowly add in more of those country instruments, like the slidey guitar, the gritty bass guitar, and eventually the banjo.
That I had in my soul, trying to chase everything that was shiny and gold. I ran away from my problems, I know now I'm stuck on.
The part where most of the country instruments are added back into Big X's verse is an interesting part because we have two bass parts. We have the 808s, and then we also have the Johnny Cash gritty bass guitar. And usually you don't hear an 808 underneath a country bass or a country song in general. So I think it added a level of depth and expanded the frequency range, which made the song sound wider, which I think is pretty cool.
This highway with nowhere to go. One day if I come back, will I get to come home? If I promise to right everything that I wrong.
Then Big X says, but this road kinda bumpy, and the 808s cut out, and we're stuck with the gritty bass guitar as our main bass part. And as soon as it cuts out, the song gets dramatically clearer. And I think that might be because the other instruments were using something called sidechain or ducking compression, which means all the other instruments were lowered in volume each time the 808 bass played. So all the other instruments were kind of fading in and out around the 808 bass. So then when the 808 cut out, all those instruments just stayed at the same volume, which might give the illusion of clarity.
To right everything that I wrong, but this road kinda bumpy. Take on in, my bank acting funny. All those times.
Then Shaboozey takes on the next chorus, and we're back to pure country and Americana vibes. Another thing that helps transition us back into the country from Big X's verse is the country instruments slowly get louder as his verse goes on. So by the time we get to the country part, we're almost already in full swing country mode.
Shouldn't have played with your heart in the first place. Yes, I still do remember our first date. Had you smelling like it was your...
And to help with that natural climb up in terms of energy and arrangement, when Big X raps the third verse, the country instruments are already added in instead of being added in gradually one by one. And that's good arrangement on the producer's part because it makes each part bigger and more grandiose than the part that came before it.
It's lonely on this road. Hey, I get it. All I saw was me, but your vision was big.
And in each verse Big X does, the country instruments, whether or not they were already added in the beginning, get louder over time. And they have to because the next parts that come after those verses are the choruses, which are big. So the building volume in the country instruments help us get there. The country instruments that are already added in the third verse helps us keep the momentum going so we can have a big finish for the last chorus. Because rapping beats usually have less build-up energy just because of their own identifying elements. And that's okay because it's its own genre. They're doing something new here by combining both of these genres, so they have to figure out how to keep the build-up going in a song like this.
But kisses just hoping to fulfill your wish. I listen, I'm on the road back to your city. Hey.
One thing I would say that sounds a little bit weird is how BigXthaPlug sounds rapping over these melodic instruments. At some points, when he's rapping along with these melodic instruments, he sounds kind of out of tune or like a little bit dissonant. And that's because there are little to no melodic elements to Big X's rapping. And that's fine because rapping is rapping. But you know, some rappers add a little bit of a melodic element so it kind of fits in with the melodic parts of their beat. And here I just didn't really feel like that was done. And it's fine, doesn't stick out that much, but you can definitely tell it just sounds just a little bit strange. His rapping, in terms of its notes, clash just a little bit with the melodic instruments and their parts. But there really isn't much to do about it. You know, I was very curious when I saw these two names together and wondered how they were going to be able to mix these two styles together. And I honestly think they did a pretty good job. I'm not sure they could have done it differently at all, and there might be just one way to do it, and that's what they did, which is have each artist have their own sections in the song. They could have done it to where they had Shaboozey singing over the rap/trap beat that BigXthaPlug was rapping over. But this way I feel like they're being more true to their own styles, and I think that's important. Now, I personally am not really a fan of new country/Americana music that Shaboozey does, but that doesn't mean that I completely don't understand the music. Anyway, good job to the producers, so I'm gonna give this song an 8 out of 10 on the Millimeter.
Won't you take me home for a minute? That's where you won't be long.
Thanks for watching. If you enjoyed this review, or even if you didn't, please consider subscribing to the channel. Tell me what you guys thought of Home by BigXthaPlug featuring Shaboozey in the comments below. Keep listening, and I'll talk to you guys later. From BigXthaPlug and which is the by BigXthaPlug featuring